Welcome back, everyone, to more of the Fruit of Grisaia. In the last episode, there's this man who is surveying Makina. We don't know what his purpose is, but we can assume it's probably not a good one. Muttering into the mic of the IC recorder set up in the inside pocket of his jacket, Ahira followed the girl from behind with his eyes. For crying out loud, why did it turn out like this? It had been a year and a half since Ihara resigned his previous position at a security company and took a job at the IGS detective agency through a friend's recommendation. Detective work had appealed strongly to Ihara since childhood. He did, of course, understand by now that a real Flatfoot's job wasn't the hard-boiled stuff from the stories. But changing the title on his business card from guard to investigator proved too tempting to pass up. However, even after 3 long months of training, he was relegated to sorting raw material, processing documents, and other desk work. And the rare field work that trickled down to him tended to be odd jobs like investigating adultery or searching for lost pets. He'd spent the better part of a year waiting unhappily for a chance to flex his muscles in a little. Just as he was starting to feel something like regret at ditching the security guard position, a senior employee abruptly stopped by and said, "Chief wants to see you. Get a move on. Your clothes are fine as they are." Ahira's first reaction had been to tilt his head in confusion and try to remember if he'd screwed anything up lately. But then the man leaned down and whispered, "Seems like you're getting a pretty important job." He'd honestly been pretty damn excited for the chance to get some real work, thrilled even, until he learned the important job amounted to stalking a little girl. More than a bit of a letdown. Oh, you get to see Makina's like a full body. We don't usually see that. That's cool. That said, this is Sir Makina Kid, currently tromping along the sidewalk 8 meters or so ahead of me. Was certainly keeping Ihara on his toes. The girl was constantly glancing around the area as she walked, and if something caught her eye, she'd often come to an abrupt and total halt. Keeping a constant distance was proving very difficult, and even worse, she seemed to have a habit of glancing briefly behind her every time she turned a corner, never failing to startle him. It almost seemed like she might have a terrible sense of direction. That constantly moving gaze could be her memorizing the area, and turning around might be an attempt to imagine the trip back home ahead of time. But according to the documents, Arusu Makina had been living in the city for nearly a year. It's hard to imagine getting lost would be a big issue at this point. Was she simply one of those ADHD kids or what? If you looked at her behavior as deliberate acts of caution, you could almost see her as a well-trained spy, but Hard knew he was probably deluding himself on that one. Just some part of him trying to make this more interesting than it really was. In reality, Arusu Makina didn't project the fierce predatory menace of a trained agent. If anything, she looked more like a nervous little chipmunk, fearful of everything around her. Oops. The girl had come to a sudden stop. She seemed to be peering into the LCD screen of a small electronic toy tied to her belt. Unless he was careful, Ihara was going to overtake her. He knew the girl's destination, so it would still be possible to resume surveillance even after passing her, but for now he wanted to keep observing from behind. Ihara slowed his pace a little, then reached into his inner jacket pocket and pretended to search for his cell phone. "What are you doing? Hurry up and get walking!" At this rate, he was going to walk right on by her. It'd be hard to stay out of his target's field of vision much longer. At this point, maybe abandoning the surveillance outright might be best. It would be easy enough to take out his phone, check his mail, then abruptly turn around as if he called back on some urgent errand. What do I do? Time to call it a day? 5 meters from his target, Ihara decided to make up his mind one way or the other within the next 2 meters. Oh God. But as he continued his approach, Arusu Makina suddenly looked up from the toy at her waist and broke into a pattering run. Damn it, she's completely unpredictable. What now? Run after her? He knew the girl was headed to her bakery, so it probably wasn't strictly necessary, but there wasn't much point in a surveillance mission if he couldn't keep her in sight. Guess I could pretend to be worried about this time. Looking down at his watch, Ihara jerked with feigned surprise and started to break into a run, but with his very first step, an unexpected impact brought him to an abrupt halt. Sorry. A man in pea-green work uniform had suddenly stepped out from the side street directly into Ihara's path. The laborer was wearing a cap of the same color, low over his eyes. In his left hand he was holding a piece of paper that looked like a crude map. Very sorry, are you okay? The man bowed his head apologetically. Must have been looking at his map as he walked. Judging from his awkward Japanese, he probably wasn't from around here. For some reason, there was a timid half-smile on his face. When Ihara followed the man's gaze down, he couldn't help shouting out loud. The breast of his suit was covered in thick gobs of ice cream. When he took another look, Ihara realized the man was holding a half-eaten cone in his other hand. Looked like one of those pat-pong shower numbers from that Busky Robinson place the kids were going to these days. Damn kids. Sorry, Guai bin de bio. Speaking cryptic words in a remorseful tone of voice, the man started rubbing at Ihara's suit with his bare hands. Apani? Darimana tone? This is not good. Gathering this much attention on a tailing job was a huge blunder. While warding off the man persistently trying to clean his suit, Ihara hurriedly turned his head in search of Makina, but the girl was already gone. At least he hadn't been outright discovered by the subject of his surveillance, but continuing to tail her after this would be very difficult. It'd probably be best to withdraw for the moment, then resume shadowing the girl after she finished at her part-time job. The man visibly flinched at the word illegal. Finally abandoning his inept attempt at brushing off Ihara's clothing, he pulled his cap down even lower over his eyes. Jas! And with this parting remark, the man in the work uniform beat a hasty retreat. Hard to pin down his nationality, even fresh off the boat from Vietnam. Maybe the Philippines or something? Whatever the case, things just hadn't worked out today. Ihara reached inside his jacket to switch off his IC recorder, and then the next instant he let out another reflexive shout. The slim metal recorder that had been in his cherry jacket pocket was gone. When Ihara moved his hand to the opposite pocket, the cell phone he left there was also missing. Disbelieving, he reached to the rear pocket of his pants to discover even his wallet had vanished. He did a number. Quickly spun around, but the suspicious foreign laborer had completely disappeared. Naoki Ihara fought a powerful urge to lie down on the sidewalk and curl up into a ball. Boy. Da imakaruf. In a narrow, dim alleyway 2 streets removed from the station plaza, a laborer was sitting on the stack of beer cases, humming the Lightspeed General Makarov theme song to himself. All the while looking through the contents of a wallet, the fruits of his day's labors. There was 17,000 yen in bills inside. A small purse had another 657 in coins. Not a big haul by any means, but nothing to turn up your nose at. Inside the card's sleeve, there was an ATM card from a bank, credit card, patient registration ticket from a dentist, proof of membership at a video rental shop, and a driver's license for standard cards with a gold stripe. Other than that, we've got 20 convenience store coupons, considering he's walking around with them. Doesn't look like they get used too often. Methodical, but a little too much pride for his own good. The back of the dentist's ticket revealed that its owners last visited only half a year ago. The man must have been going for regular checkups to have tartar scraped off or what have you. Definitely the methodical type. Ihara Noika, huh? Naturally, the back of the driver's license was unblemished by violations. It was a genuine gold license. After 3 years without violations, drivers can receive a license with a gold stripe that offers some benefits. Difficult for active drivers to attain due to strict traffic laws. Interesting. The man snapped open a small aluminum case he'd swept along with the wallet, finding the inside full of business cards. An IGS kid, huh? I see. The man in the work uniform knew that voice all too well. And this wasn't the first time he'd been rendered half-blind by the overly bright flashlight. Softly clicking his tongue, he got to his feet.
Oi, oi! Kazami-san yo. Mata anta ka?
It's not like I did anything this time, you know. Well, we did rob a guy.
あんた、なんだその格好。ついに学校をクビになって就職でもしたのか？
Something like that. I'm a working student. This is a uniform for my part-time job.
なんか怪しいな。あんた、こんなとこで何やってたんだい？
Not much. Happened to find a wallet over there, so I was looking it over to see if I could return it to the owner.
本当に？あんたが吸ったんじゃないだろうね。
Nope. Come on. I'm being a good Samaritan here, you know? Here, this is the wallet.
うん。中身の金は残っているようだな。あんた、
I pocketed a finder's
少し
fee.
猫ばばしていたりしないだろうな。
I'm not desperate enough to steal other people's money. I work for my food, as you can see.
そうか。いや、冗談だ。申し訳ない。
Yeah, that's right. Better be sorry. More importantly, it seemed like the owner had some business cards in there.
ああ、これか。なになに？ IGS 探偵社調査員伊原直之か。
A detective, huh? Guess from the contents of his wallet, it doesn't seem like that lucrative of a profession.
あんた、中身を見たのか？
Well, yeah, of course. That a crime now?
いや、そういうわけじゃないが。
IGS Detective Company, eh? The Iizuka General Security Private Investigation Agency, right? Wasn't that Iizuka Satoru guy who runs it? A Sakura Daemon alum?
詳しいな。
The guy's pretty famous, that's all. Oh, but I did hear they dabble in some behind-the-scenes political jobs as well. Any truth to that?
知らんよ。とにかく、この財布は俺が預かっておく。一緒に交番まで来てくれ。
What again? Your boss isn't going to be too happy if you drag me back in.
そうは言ってもな。習得者の氏名と連絡先を聞くのが手順だからな。
Why not just say you're the one who found it? Even if you write my name down, each guy is just going to have the paper torn up. You don't want to be making trouble for yourself.
しかし。
Okay, here, give me the wallet for a minute.
どうするつもりだ？
I'm going to drop it on the ground. Then you're going to pick it up. That way you won't be falsifying your documents.
わかったよ。俺がここで拾ったことにすればいいんだろ？
Why not at least pretend to pick it up? Just humor me, okay?
はいはい。お？こんなところに財布が落ちているじゃないか。これでいいか？
That'll suffice. Good job. Oh, while we're at, take these two.
携帯電話と。
A voice recorder. Unfortunately, somebody or other seems to have cleared the memory. It was just lying here with the
お
wallet.
い。本当にあんたが吸ったんじゃないだろうな。
Word of advice, don't ask any more questions. I'm willing to bet your life's going to go a lot smoother that way.
確かにな。あんたのことは黙認しろと上から言われている。けどな、風見さんよ。俺は犯罪を見て見ぬふりをするために警官になったわけじゃないぞ。
That's true. I like that guy. That guy gets so much crap. They're all just like, oh, just go along with it. But he's like, I don't want to, people are committing crimes here, just because it's Kazami, we can't look the other way. And I'm not saying you should. You have my word. I'm not looking to make you complicit in any evil doing on my part.
風見さんよ。あんた、本当に迷惑だな。
I won't deny that. Human beings can't live without inconveniencing others.
まあいいさ。俺はここで財布を拾っただけだ。あんたにも会っていない。
That works. Speaking from experience, people who know when they keep their mouths shut get ahead in life faster. You'll climb the ladder in no time.
嬉しかねえな。
Okay, I'll be going now.
あんまり仕事増やしてくれるなよ。次は本当に逮捕するぞ。
I'll watch my step. Starving highway robbers in war-torn countries will murder people for a single can of food. Comparatively speaking, a flinched wallet is hardly worth whining about, right? Not that I'm dumb enough to voice the thought. When people are raised in different environments, they naturally look at the exact same things in very different ways. But I'm not complaining. Peaceful way of life. Not seeing things, best left unseen. Ignorant of the facts, best left unknown. Needs to be supported from the shadows. And that's the one and only reason anyone would bother keeping trash like me around. August 12th. IGS Detective Agency, a minor private investigation company, profitable enough to plaster ads across giant billboards. Never mind that. In front of the Tokyo train stations, well known for its founder, the former Sakura Daemon, big shot Satoru Iizuka. Lately, the man's been getting a lot of face time as a security expert on news programs and such, earning plenty of free publicity for his agency. It's a well-known, respectable business. But IGS is also well-versed in shady political dealings, thanks to a tendency to offer retiring police lucrative advisory jobs. For a private business, you hear a lot of rumors about their involvement with incidents concerning the establishment. In reality, however, they do seem to know where to draw the line. IGS claims to be a completely independent private company with no tolerance for illegal behavior, and it doesn't seem to be just a pretense. The fact that one of their employees was investigating Makina's behavior means that her enemies are still in the exploratory stage for now. Those people aren't going to harm her, even if I leave them alone. The question is, how long that harmless observation will continue, and what comes after it. I decided to try and analyze the situation from the ground up. There are 4 basic questions here. Why, who, how, and finally, what do I do about it? Why is Makina being targeted? Why is Sashi in front of me, looking at me weirdly? She was removed from her position as a successor of her family because of health problems, but now her recovery has been confirmed. Simple as that. Until now, Makina's good health hadn't been public knowledge that was protecting her. Otherwise, the girl probably would have been targeted the moment she was discharged from the hospital. Next question is, who is targeting Makina? Logically speaking, it's the people who'd be inconvenienced by her return as the future head of the Arusu. In other words, the branch house or its allies. Learning that Makina had recovered, the main family attempted to murder the branch family's figurehead, her half-sister Serena. In retaliation, the branch family is beginning to maneuver behind the scenes, most likely aiming at removing Makina from the equation completely. And as for how, that powerful faction inside the Arusu intends to treat Makina from now on. From the moment, they're still gathering information, but once they're satisfied with the investigation, they'll probably move to take more direct action against her. Since she's staying put for the moment, I'm anticipating they'll begin with a harassment campaign to intimidate her. But there's a definite chance that might progress into attempts at her life. In the end, what do I do? The answer's not going to change, no matter who I'm up against. That said, there's a possibility of this opponent choosing to come at us with a force of arms, and we don't have the personnel or equipment to resist. In that case, how about seizing the initiative? Better to crush cockroaches before they hatch. Take it one step further. It's most effective to kill the mother roach before she can even lay her eggs. Of course, if I try anything along those lines, there won't be any turning back. My employer would no doubt hunt me down, but I'd rather die keeping her safe than live as a slave to the national interest. Sakaki, what's wrong? Seems I was a little too deeply lost in thought. I didn't even notice Sakaki until she was standing right in front of me.
どうしたじゃないでしょ
With this remark, Sakaki abruptly reaches out for my face, then tightly seizes my cheeks between her thumb and forefinger. Ow! What? Where are you at?
ひどい顔ね
Maybe you could stop pinching me then.
何を思い詰めているのか知らないけれどあんまり怖い顔をしていると女の子に嫌われるわよ
Could give a shit if I'm Poppy or with anyone. Shit, what?
鏡を見てごらんなさいなあなたの目どろりと濁った中にもギラギラと底光りしていてまるでけだもののような目をしているわよ
Men are all heesh, you know.
冗談を言う余裕はあるよねあなたさっき小峰さんに声をかけられたこと気がついていた
She was? Sasha, when?
ほんの数分前のことよここであなたを見かけて何度か声をかけたのだそうだけれど返事もしないし 追い詰められた獣のような恐ろしい顔をしていたので、それ以上は声をかけることもできなかったそうよ。
I see. Sorry, I got a little lost in thought.
殺気という言葉が適切なのかはわからないけれど、あなたがここでそうしているだけで寮全体の空気がピリピリするようだわ。そういう顔をあまりうちの子たちに見せないでほしいのだけれど。
Our kids?
ああ、うちの学園の子という意味よ。私の子供のことじゃなくて。
You have children? What?
いないわよ。
Oh, good. Whew. I was like, what? Hush to joke. Hush to hope. I try my best to smile, but I just can't seem to get it right. I suppose the fact that Sakaki's pinching my cheeks with renewed vigor has something to do with that, but that's not the only problem. The girl's right. I'm on edge, to the point of unconsciously projecting a menacing aura. In fact, pretty damn impressive that Sakaki managed to pinch my cheeks under those circumstances. I look at her with just a little admiration in my eyes. My bad. Exhaling deeply as if to clear out a mass of bad air gone stagnant in my lungs, I let the tension drain from my shoulders, then unclenched my fists. Sakaki, who'd been glaring at me irritably all this time, peers deep into my eyes to confirm I've regained lucidity.
よし。
Then briefly nods and releases my smarting cheeks at last.
イリスさん絡みのことで何かあったのね。
Why do you know that?
悪いとは思ったのだけれど、イリスさんのことを少し調べさせてもらったわ。彼女、書類上ではまだ当主の座にいるようね。妹さんはあくまでも代理という立場みたい。
What does that mean?
つまり、正式な辞任がなされていないということなのよ。
That's not good. But the girl's not interested in inheriting. She made that very plain to her grandfather.
イリス家だって一枚岩ではないし、そう簡単な話ではないことはあなたも知っているでしょ。いくら本人が辞めたいと言っても、はいそうですかというわけにはいかないのね。
Oh, she's right on that. Then what can we do?
そうね。ちゃんとした話し合いの席で立ち会い人の同席のもと、正式な辞任手続きを済ませて後任に委ねるのね。そう簡単にはいかないでしょうけれど。
Why not? It sounds pretty straightforward if you ask me.
宗家を勝ち馬として支えてきた人たち、これまで宗家に融資を受けてきた関連企業や海外提携企業、宗家の代表が主権から外れると不利益を被る人たちが黙ってはいないでしょ。これは私が勝手に計算した結果だけれど、
Well, that makes sense too.
もし現時点でイリス家の主権が分家に移った場合、国内流通、小売、製造、海外輸出入を含むと約 7% の景気後退が発生する見込みになるわね。
That's an oddly specific percent. How exactly did you come up with that? 7% across the entire country?
ええ、そう。
Oh
全
god.
世界的に見れば 1.7% の損失よ。数年前から続く世界恐慌に拍車がかかるわね。 差し詰め、イリスショックといったところかしら。
The entire economy depends on Makina now. Boy, that isn't stressful. In other words, Makina saying no would impact the entire world?
そういうこと。どんな理由があろうと逃げ出せない。それが許されない世界というものは存在するのね。
Makina's still a child, Sakaki.
イリスさんは宗家が掲げる旗印なのよ。大人かどうかなんて関係ないわ。
What feudal bullshit. They just want to use the blood in her veins.
かわいそうだけれど、それが彼女の生まれ持った業なのよ。
Is there nothing we can do about that?
だから、ゆっくりと時間をかけて主権を移譲しつつ、20年ぐらいかけて正式に辞任するか。あとは。
20 years. Wait, there's an alternative?
あと3年間、逃げ回るか、
Why 3 years? I don't get it. What happens in 3 years?
イリスさんが健康上の理由で当主の座を妹さんに預けたのが7年前。10年間当主の任に復帰することができなければ、彼女は家督相続権を強制的に剥奪されるのよ。
You know an awful lot about this. I'm a bit concerned about your involvement. In other words, if she doesn't return to her old position within the next 3 years...
そう。イリスさんは権利をすべて剥奪されて、普通の女の子になるわ。
I don't think normal is going to be her life. 3 years, huh? For me alone, disappearing for 3 years wouldn't be impossible. But if I'm taking Makina along as well, the situation almost certainly wouldn't be so simple. The main house would be using all their power to search for her, and the Branch family too would no doubt try to take the opportunity to secure their position by assassinating Makina while she's on the run and vulnerable.
少なくとも、イリスさんがこの学園にいる間は安全が保証されてはいるのだけれど、その約束もどこまで守られることやら。
I don't understand. What connection is there between the Arusu and the school?
関わりというほどのことでもないのだけれど、イリスさんをこの学園に入学させたのは分家筋の人間なのよ。
Members of the Branch family put her here? Why? I don't get it. Whoops. I always hit that button.
つまり、イリスさんをこの学園で3年間隔離すれば、彼女の家督相続権は剥奪されるでしょ。
Oh, that's why they did it.
宗家側には、イリスさんが退院したことすら伝えずに、そっと入れ物を移してしまったというわけね。
It all makes so much sense. It's all coming together.
事実、宗家側は最近までイリスさんの退院すら知らされていなかったし、彼女がいた病院には分家側が用意した影武者まで仕込んであったというの
No
が
shit.
周到な計画だったよね。
That's awesome. I mean, that's not awesome, but that's pretty cool. My head's starting to hurt. So in other words, as long as she stays in this school under the Branch family's control, Makina is safe. Is that what you're telling me?
妹さんが爆発に巻き込まれる前の話なら、そういうことになるけれど。
But the status quo has already been broken.
その通り。
Damn it. All bets are off. No choice but to crush the eggs after all.
またそうやって怖い顔をする。もう一度つねる？
That won't be necessary. Look, Sakaki,
冷静になりなさい。あなた一人でどうにかできる問題ではないということは理解できたでしょ？
I know. I understand that, but that doesn't mean I'm going to stop trying.
強情。
Yeah, that's what you get with me. She's the only thing in the world I decide to protect in my own will. Not because someone ordered me to. I can't very well back down, can I?
少しだけイリスさんが羨ましいと思うのは他人事が過ぎるかしら。
Better not say that in front of her, at least.
何にせよ、今日明日でどうにかなる問題ではないわ。宗家と分家も今はお互いに責任のなすりつけ合いと言いがかりの掛け合いに忙しいようだし、私の調べられる範囲であれば何か変化があったら教えてあげるから、しばらく静観してみては。
I suppose so. Damn it. Man, well, the story is starting to come together a little bit. We're starting to get a lot more detail in the backstory and what's going on currently with Makina and the families and all that stuff. It's kind of interesting. I like it. And with that, I'm going to end the video off, and I will see you in the next episode. Take it easy, everybody.